Hello, Rama Pupodu. Hope all are in good condition, healthy, feeling great, wonderful, having a happy and peaceful life. Now let's continue with this story. I will not come back. Go to Ramana Maharishi. I bless you, my child. Then the teacher parted from his disciple. The Swami's failure to enter Jiva Samadhi became sensational news. Soon the excitement died down. Kunju was heartbroken that his Upaguru had failed and had gone away. His father took pity on him and said, "Son, you have been with Kopani Swami. Do you owe any money to anyone?" "Yes, father, I owe someone 5 rupees," he replied. "Here, take this money and return it." His father pressed 5 rupees into his palm. Kunju felt that it was Lord Shiva himself giving him the money to go to Tiruvannamalai. By this time, around January 1920, Kunju was very popular in this village as well as in the surrounding ones. Wanting to avoid the idle curiosity of people, he waited until night to slip away. He ran to the railway station and waited there, but missed the train. He hid himself and caught the next train to Katpandi. On reaching Katpandi, he learned that he had again missed the train to Tiruvannamalai. The next train was at 6 in the evening, and he had to wait the entire day. At 5, when he went to buy a ticket, he was told that the bubonic plague has broken out in Tiruvannamalai and therefore nobody was allowed to get off there. Dejected, he asked a man standing next to him, "What do I do? I want to go to Tiruvannamalai." "Tirukoilur is the next station after Tiruvannamalai. Get a ticket to Tirukoilur, and when the train reaches Tiruvannamalai, jump off the train. That is the way," the stranger advised. But when he went to buy the ticket, Kunju realized that he had just enough money to get to Tiruvannamalai. He needed 4 annas more to buy a ticket to Tirukoilur. Frustrated and not knowing what else to do, he began to pray to Bhagavan. He looked down and his eye fell on the rails in front of him. Between the two rails lay a 4 anna coin. Overjoyed, he picked it up, bought his ticket, and finally got on the train to Tirukoilur. They were to arrive at Tiruvannamalai station at 9:30 in the night. Being a law-abiding and truthful young man, kunjuswamy was apprehensive about breaking the rule of getting off at the forbidden station. Suddenly the man seated next to him held his hand and said, "I am getting down at Tiruvannamalai. You must also get off," and pulled him along. The two men slipped away into the night. Later on, when Kunjuswamy recounted how the whole thing worked out, he said, "Had I not missed the morning train, I would not have been able to slip into Tiruvannamalai. Everything was perfect. I did not want to break the rules, but somebody held my hand and compelled me to get down. I followed him into town to an open temple porch, where we both fell asleep. When I woke up early the next morning, the man who helped me was gone. Who else could it have been except my Bhagavan?" Kunjuswamy was directed by passers-by to climb up the hill to reach Bhagavan. There were 3 paths, and he did not know which to take. This is symbolic for all seekers. When we want to reach the truth, we encounter doubts, problems, and obstacles. However, if we are steadfast in our faith, these too will be resolved by the truth itself. What we need is perseverance, one-pointedness, and faith. He chose one of the paths and met a Swami, a hefty man with long matted hair and beard. Kunjuswamy felt a little frightened because he had read in mythological stories about rishis who only gave curses. He ran back and encountered a stranger who asked him where he wanted to go. I want to go to Ramana Maharishi. He said, "Take this path," the stranger pointed. As Kunjuswamy walked up at a spot little above Urupaksha cave, he saw a small hut. Mudaliar Patti, who used to feed Bhagavan every day, lived there. On seeing this youth, she asked, "Where are you going?" "I want to have darshan of Ramana Maharishi," replied Kunjuswamy. "Go this way, take a dip in the stream, and then go to Maharishi. We shall be bringing food for Ramana Maharishi, and we will bring some for you also." On the way, before reaching Kanda Ashramam, he wondered, "How can I pay my homage to my master? I am going to see him for the first time." On reaching there, he saw Bhagavan sitting and three people prostrating before him. One of them was his friend Ramakrishnan. The other two were Perumal Swami and one Swami Ahanananda. "This is the way I too will pay my homage," he told himself. He too prostrated to Bhagavan and waited, because he had read in the Kaivalya Navanidam and Jnana Vasishta that the Guru will speak first and give an Upadesa. Until then, one must not speak to him. At that time, Bhagavan turned to a lady who was weeping profusely and asked her, "Why are you weeping?" "You are weeping because you lost one son, but another son has come now." The lady was none other than Bhagavan's mother, Alagammal. Much later, Kunjuswamy learned that a man called Annamalai Swami had died that morning due to the plague, and Bhagavan's mother had been very fond of him, as he had been of much service to her and to the others in Kanda Ashramam. After some time, Bhagavan brought a charcoal stove, a small vessel, and some ingredients. Kunjuswamy had read that sages make magic potions, and just by drinking them one could attain moksha. He thought, "What a fortunate boy I am! My master Ramana Maharishi is going to make a magic potion and give it to me on my very first day here." Bhagavan made the potion, waited for it to cool down, and lifted a basket that was nearby. 4 puppies lay huddled under it. The potion Bhagavan has made was just gruel for their feed. As the puppies ran helter and skelter, Bhagavan turned to Kunjuswamy and said, "Catch hold of all 4 of them." Kunju obeyed, while Bhagavan readied to give them gruel on a small plate. Later, Kunjuswamy said, "This was my first Upadesa, by which I understood that I had to hold on to all the 4 Mahavakyas. There are 4 scriptural statements which all Hindus refer as the highest wisdom. They are called Mahavakyas. They are Prajananam Brahma, Aham Brahmasmi, Tattvam Asi, and Ayam Atma Brahma. Prajananam Brahma means consciousness is Brahman. Aham Brahmasi means I am the awareness. Tattvam Asi means that thou art. And I am Atma Brahma means I am the awareness that is both individual and cosmic. Now let them go one by one, the master instructed. Kunju let the puppies go one by one. Kunjuswamy understood this second Upadesa to mean that having absorbed the 4 Mahavakyas, he should let each statement drop off until only the true state of the self remained. He was ecstatic that his master had given him the highest teaching. Each puppy lapped up its gruel. When its stomach was full, one puppy urinated, and Bhagavan brought a gunny bag and cleaned the floor. Another puppy wandered around and did the same. Then Kunjuswamy thought, "Bhagavan should not be doing that. I would like to do this service." Bhagavan turned to him and said, "Do you want to clean it? Go ahead." So the third Upadesa he got was to clean it. Kunjuswamy understood it to mean always keep your mind clean. He diligently followed these rules all his life and found much joy. He had stayed with Bhagavan for 18 days when one day the master asked him, "What are you doing as sadhana?" "I am doing the Panchashari mantra, Om Namah Shivaya," Kunjuswamy replied. "Continue doing that," Bhagavan said approvingly. Kunjuswamy followed this for 18 days and felt that in Bhagavan's presence he had experienced the self. He felt he should not be a burden to the ashram and so decided along with his friend Ramakrishnan to go back home and live there in this state of bliss. However, when they went home, the bliss slowly started fading and they were back in their previous state. They realized that they must go back to the physical presence of Bhagavan. When Kunjuswamy left for his first journey to Tiruvannamalai, he had done so without telling his parents, but this time he took their blessings. In India, we have deep faith in serving the Guru, being in close proximity to him and awaiting his instructions. When Kunjuswamy and Ramakrishnan went to Kanda Ashramam, they too longed to serve their master. Fortunately, Swami, Bhagavan's personal attendant, told them to take over his duty as he was going on a pilgrimage. Swami's duty was to massage Bhagavan's feet and bathe him. Kunjuswamy was delighted that his prayers were being answered and resolved that, come what may, to never leave his master and do whatever service his master entrusted him with. He asked Bhagavan, "Why was it that I lost the state of bliss and became unhappy again when I went back to my village? What should I do to get over my confusion and thereby gain clarity?" Bhagavan listened to his question with a smile and replied, "You have studied Kaivalya Navanitam. One of the verses says that if one inquires into and comes to see the individual self and thus transcends it to its substratum, the eternal self, he becomes the substratum, the self itself, remaining always as the self. There will be no more births and deaths. How can I know myself?" Kunjuswamy asked. "First, recognize who you are." The Guru answered. Kunjuswamy inquired, "How can I recognize who I am?" "See from where thoughts arise," Bhagavan said. "But how is this to be done?" Kunjuswamy pressed. Bhagavan replied, "Turn your mind inward and be the heart." Then, with his gracious look fixed on Kunjuswamy, he reverted to his natural state of silence. At that very moment, Kunjuswamy's agitation and confusion ceased. He experienced a peace and bliss he had never experienced before. Kunjuswamy asked again, "But how and why did I lose the experience of bliss when I went back to my village?" Bhagavan quoted again from the Kaivalya Navanitam. "The experience of the self as a glimpse can occur in the presence of the Guru, but it may not last. Doubts will arise again and again. In order to clear them, the disciple should continue to study, contemplate, and practice. Studying or listening is Sravana. Contemplation is Manana. And then practicing is Nityadayasana. Sravana, Manana, and Nityadayasana should be done until the distinction between the known, the knower, and the knowing no longer rises. There should be no difference, no other at all." After Bhagavan had explained this to him, Kunjuswamy decided to stay in his presence and to carry out the practices he prescribed. He found that if any doubt arose in his mind, it was cleared by merely listening to Bhagavan's answers to others' questions. He rarely had to ask a question himself. That's all, folks. Let's continue in the next chapter. Thank you. Bye bye. Rama Rama Pupoda.